How do? Andrew here, popcorn and whiskey. I am the face who runs the place. Salute. How you doing this evening? It's been a while. Yes. Why? Because I've been busy on the weekends. I can go into a lot of details, but why bother? I've been busy. I bore a lot of people, I'm sure, but I'm sure I can tell stories and it'll be good. I still haven't got my squeak fixed. And gosh darn it, I forgot to change microphones. Oh well. So you're gonna get me on my podcast microphone, not my live streaming microphone. And what's the difference? This one just looks cooler. That's all. One of those kind of things. So, all right, all kinds of stuff happening around the globe. I don't know what I'll cover this evening or what I'll get to or just chill out. Hey, if you want to be here with me this evening, I put a link in the show notes, in the comments, in the box. Check it out. Have a decent microphone. If you want to come on live with me on air, great. If you just want to call in and we can chit chat, I can make that happen as well. So you got to type in the comments. If you want to make the phone call, call in. I'll put that up in there in a little bit, and we can do it that way because I have a new setup. If I'm looking different this evening, one, I suddenly grew hair, as you can see, but the program I'm using, wait a second here. My hair is all matted down. Why is that? The program I'm using this evening, StreamYard. Hey, usually have, whoa, what happened? Usually up in this corner up here, I have the StreamYard logo. There is something going on with StreamYard. They have recently been purchased by another company, and they have different tiers or different levels where you can, lack of a better term, invest in everything. You have the different levels. You got the base or the core level, then you got a medium and an advanced level. I don't know what they call them. They have different prices for them or different names for each price tag. Of course, each price tag goes up in price, and you get different benefits, if you will. Camera settings, microphone settings, background, so on and so forth. How many platforms you can stream to, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to get into a lot of details of how it all works, but I got in on a promotional deal several years ago where I was paying, I think it's $10 a month for this. Yeah, I got the cheap plan. And it's usually regularly, I think $20 a month. Now the cheapest plan, from what I'm gathering, because they're not very, and I'm not too happy about this, but they haven't been the most forthright in telling all the information what's going on. Put it that way. So I got an email the other day saying that the tier or the price that I'm on the level that I'm in is going up, and about 4 times the amount which I'm paying. Which I was like, holy crap! If that's the case, I'm going to go to another platform because I don't need all those extra stuff that they're asking for. But they also, in the same email, said in a loose way that whatever price you were locked in at, you can stay locked in, but you're going to receive the extra benefits. I'm still trying to figure out if that's what they meant or not. That's how I perceived it, and so I can't find anybody else who got that email. Honestly, I went to their Facebook page and typed that out and posted it on there, and no one seems to recall getting that either. And then no one seems to understand the language they use. So I am waiting till the next billing period, and I can't find it on my account that it's changed or not. So we'll see at the next billing period if it has changed. I'm gonna have to say bye bye to this platform, and I'm gonna start using a different platform. But until then, you got me still doing it with StreamYard, and I like StreamYard. I really do. I don't want to leave, but if I have to, I have to. It's just that simple. Okay. Also, in my area, oh, this is rubbing me the wrong way, but so many ways. The cable system in my area, we have Sparklight cable in my area, and this past either Monday or Tuesday, I forget which day, it just froze. pictures on the TV just froze. No matter what channel you go to, it's a frozen picture from that particular day. Hey Lana, how you doing, babes? Miss you, miss talking to you. You need to come on with me sometime. We can chit chat. So the cable froze up and just locked up. So I thought it was just me. So I unplugged it, plug it back in. Now I do not have a cable box. I guess I still do it the old fashioned way where I run the cable and plug it into the back of the television. Voila, I have cable. Oh no, hey, good. uh, miss you, babes. Miss you terribly. All right, we can chit chat one day. Absolutely. So, um, so the cable's been frozen. A lot of people in my town have the same issue going on, and no one's asking, and no one can figure out why. I contact the cable company, and they say, well, they don't see any issues in the area. Yeah, I've been watching football all evening, and I'll tell you how I've been watching football in the evening. And I'll get on here, and all of a sudden I start yawning. Go figure. I don't have any popcorn either. Bummed me out. I wanted to get popcorn tonight, but I didn't bum me out. Look at that right there. See that? See that? See that? Cut myself shaving. It's it's tough being me sometimes, folks. I'm telling you, it's tough being me. So, but anyway, last year, just for shits and giggles, so to speak, I put up an antenna in my attic, a television antenna, just so you can get over the air broadcast TV, just in case for emergencies, in case something happened. Don't ask me how or why. I thought about doing it, but I decided I just wanted to do it, so I did it. And I put it up there. I've only used it a handful of times just to check it out. But since my cable's been frozen, guess what? I plug in the antenna. And guess what? I will not be paying for the cable either. That's a whole different ballgame there. Now, there are some theories going on that this cable company, Sparklight, has decided to have everyone get a cable box instead of plugging into the television, or they're going strictly with the streaming service, which I find very hard to believe either one of those two is going to happen. So we'll see how it works or not. I don't plan on doing that. I'm not going to change. If they don't like it, screw up. They're not going to get my money. I'm going to just go over the air and broadcast antennas, which is fine. The only cable I watch per se is the USA Network, which has my Monday Night Raw, which is now going to be Friday Night SmackDown. So I got to figure out how I'm going to be watching those without cable. And I like watching the History Channel when they have the show Alone on there. Now, Alone just ended last week, so the new season won't start for another several months, another 8, 9 months or so, whatever it is. So that's it. And then my news stations. I'm a Fox News guy. I like watching Fox News. My mom liked to watch with hers. It was the News Nation, which they took off the cable a couple weeks ago. So I don't know why. She's not a Fox person. She's more toward the CNN side of things. Yes, I know, whatever. But she also liked News Nation, which they don't have anymore. So I can start doing all the streaming stuff as well, but that's a pain in the ass, if you ask me. So I'm getting a more high grade antenna. The issue is where I live, I am between 3 markets. So a good antenna will aim toward one market and may be able to pick up a different one signal wise. And I've been studying antennas for the last couple of years. I understand this. My mother's house in Florida, we have an antenna, so I know all about them. Been studying them, been researching antennas. Not all antennas are created equal. That's like saying you want like a vehicle. You want a Ferrari, but you're just going to pay the price of a Yugo. All right. You want a good antenna that picks up everything, but you want to pay those cheap Walmart antennas, which will pick up some stations, not a problem, but there's so much more to it than that. So I just don't understand why this cable company wants to do it this way. Hopefully they're going to hopefully as a company they're going to benefit from it, but I have a feeling they're not going to. And I'm not going to get Dish. I don't like I used to like Dish, but I don't want the stuff in my yard or on my roof and stuff like that. But Andrew, you're putting an antenna. Put an antenna in my attic. Big difference. So that's what's going on there. Kind of ticks me off. So if you've seen my latest Facebook page, hold on a second, and I will show you what I'm talking about on my latest Facebook page. Okay, hold on a second here. Let me just get to it and show you. Because I was an announcer. Roku. I love my Roku, Lana. I got Roku. I love my Roku. I do a lot with my Roku, but I don't like their live TV platform outside of I love the show Leverage. I watch Leverage all the time. I shouldn't say all the time when I'm on there. I love Leverage. There are 4 shows that I recommend. Speaking of that, I recommend to people who say they want to binge watch something. Leverage, Burn Notice, Suits, White Collar. Those are the 4 main ones. Now, if you want to get a little more in depth with this, I don't know how I just transition over to this, but I'm telling you. So, Leverage, Burn Notice, Suits, White Collar. If you want to get a little more, and most of these are USA Network shows. If you want to get a little more in depth, you can do Silk Stockings, which was back in the 90s. Fantastic program. Loved Silk Stockings. In Plain Sight was another one. Life was on NBC. Fantastic series. Only lasted 2 seasons, though. So there's some stuff if you want to watch some, my opinion, good television is going to keep you riveted and you'll fall in love with the characters. One of those kind of things. One day or one episode, one show, I will get all into the history of the Silk Stockings. Yes, there was a show called Silk Stockings in the 90s. I really fell in love with that show, and there was 3 distinct versions of the show. The people who are stalkers like myself, there's a secret language, if you will. There's a classic silk, middle silk, and the new silk. There's 3 different versions of the silk stockings. Middle silk, not too good. People were boycotting it, and that's why the ratings tanked. And that's what I had to go to with new silk. But that's a whole different ballgame there. Man, I could talk silk stockings all night. Oh man. Rita. That was good. And she was my girl back then. Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I was going to show you the latest picture. Present, come over here, share my screen. Dun 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 dun. Share this. There you go. You see that? See that? See me there? See that? Let's see if I can make this picture bigger here. There you go. See? Now last week I was able to Lana, I found a really cool whiskey thing I want to share. I'll message to you. Rita, yeah, she knows who I'm talking about. Yeah. Chris and Rita. Chris, I can't think of their last names on the show. For crying out loud. No, I have to look it up. But anyway, getting back to this. Last week, wait a second here. I got to put myself there. There we go. Last week in my hometown, we had the Little Italy Festival. That's right, the Little Italy Festival. Starts on Friday evening and goes till Monday evening. So 3.5 days basically. And for the last 25 years, we've had a set. One particular person did all the announcing. They call this at the main stage, where you see me right here. That's at the main stage area, where they intro and outro a lot of the skits that are going on, so to speak. We have the Italian singers, we have various bands, we have various dance groups and dancers that do traditional Italian dancing and also modern school dance type stuff. So it's entertainment for everybody who comes up there. So the guy retired. The main announcer retired, and last year was the first year he retired. So they had basically tryouts for everybody. so I was one of the tryouts, but they never got back to any of us who tried out, and they being the organization who puts on the festival, they never got back with any of us who tried out to do it. And then they changed management completely. So that was a big ordeal. And so this year, one of the local news station guys, one of the television news station guys said, "Hey, I'll host for the weekend." They say, "Great." I'm like, "Hey, wait a second. I tried out for this. I want to be the host." They say, "Well, we need one for Friday night because he does call it high school football play-by-play. He can't be on live." I said, "Well, I'll take it and I'll run with it," which I did. And there's my picture right there. So there you go. And here we go. So I had an absolute blast on there. I flubbed up a couple of times. And it was because I'll take full responsibility to an extent. We have the king and queen of the festival. Usually it's an older couple. And my sister and my brother-in-law were the couple who was the king and queen this year. So what they do is they get all the old king and queens. They call them Ray and Reginas, which stands for king and queen in Italian. They line them up on the stage, or basically have seats for them, and you introduce them, and they stand up and wave to the crowd. Okay, this particular year it was Jim Bob and Mary Jane, blah blah blah, and go on and go on and go on. So whoever organized or got all the folks to sit down, wrote down everybody's name on a piece of paper and handed it to me. Now I know all these people. I just didn't know what years they were the Reign Regina or the King and Queen. So as I'm going through there, hey, 1992, Archie and Flavia Poletto. It's my mom and dad, and then mom stood up and blah blah blah, and so she waved at the crowd. So I'm going through all these folks, and again, I know them all. I get to one, and I've always known this gentleman's name is Bean Dean and his wife Brenda. And at that split second, I'm looking at my paper and it says Dave and Brenda. So a million thoughts are going through my mind. I'm like, I know him as Dean, but on this paper it says Dave. Does this mean it's his traditional name or real name? He wants to be called Dave. And so I just say Dave and Brenda. And he gives me this look, and I'm thinking, oh, I just screwed that one up. But I wasn't going to admit that I screwed up. Of course not. All kinds of people watching, and I got my pride on the line here too. Not that I didn't mess up already several times. So anyway, people started chuckling at that one. And him and I got together afterwards, and he knew it was just a common mistake. Not common mistake, but it was just a mistake. So we had a good time with that one. But and then after that, before the band came on, the next band, I decided to walk around the crowd. This is something that people don't usually do. And since the microphone is wireless, I'm going to walk around the crowd. So I got off the stage where basically the picture was, you saw me on that's the stage. I walked off the stage and walked to the crowd and started talking to people. I asked people who's there for the first time. Basically, they're the new blood, and I want to talk to them. And a couple raised their hand. They had 2 or 3 little kids with them, and one little girl raised her hand really high. It's me. I'm here for the first time. So she's. I said, "Well, what's your name?" She tells me whatever it was, and I said, "How old are you?" She says, "I'm 5." I said, "Get over here." So she came on stage, and we sat down together, and I'm interviewing her with a microphone. And I started calling this the Little Italy interviews. So I did that, and her family really loved her. Her face was all lit up. It was so much fun talking with her, and she didn't know what to say with some of the questions. I mean, I didn't ask her hard questions, of course. She was 5 years old, crying out loud. But then I just talked to other people, and had a good time. And then when the band came on, that was the end of my shift, so to speak. And I had everyone stand up. All right, before I leave, I need everybody to stand up and now clap. I said, "Thank you for the standing ovation." Yay, it was great. So I had a real good time with that. And I had so many compliments the rest of the weekend from people who said, "I didn't know you can do that." I'm like, "Dude, I'm on this thing on Saturday night, so I come here to do this." So, something like that. So I'm hoping they'll ask me to come back next year, but that's a year away. Until then, I am in the process of ramping up a few things to do more stuff online, and also to do more stuff in the community. I am putting together, and this is for anybody watching, especially local folks. Pay attention to me. This is really going to help you out. Local, I mean a couple hour drive away from me. This could be really, really, really beneficial to you and also to me. I am putting together it's either could be a 30-minute talk or a 60-minute talk, or I can even go longer than that, as you can tell by watching Popcorn and Whiskey, about what I do online, the top fitness strategies, fitness over 50. I have a fundraiser talk I can do to help people out, to give them education and entertainment at the same time. We can get together if you have an organization, a church, a school function, a club, something that you want to do a fundraiser for. Very simple to do on both of our parts. You just get a venue, which most churches already have a built-in venue. Most high schools have a built-in venue you can use. Get a microphone in the stage area and let her eat, baby. I go to town on this one. And we'll do something with the profits. Of course, it'll be a fundraiser for you, moneymaker for me. Everybody be happy, and we go from there. You won't be disappointed. I have this. I've been doing this for a while, talking like this on ad lib, and I'm actually going to have notes of the stuff that I've been doing online. Now, what it is, after all these years of taking questions, answering questions about health and fitness, I've come up with I don't want to call them pillars because everybody uses the word pillar, but it's like a 4-pillar plan, which will gets push people into the right direction to lead a fitter and healthier life. Look better, feel better, gain some confidence. That's what it's all about. Those 3 things. And I'm gonna divide everything up into 4 different categories, and I talk about each one of the categories, and they all build upon each other. It's a fun presentation, and it's not just saying do this, do this, do this, do this. No, it's a combination of years of my experience, years of talking with other folks. I've interviewed well over 100 people in the health and fitness world, all kinds of aspects of fitness, and this would be one of the things I talk about. And this is not one of the 4; it's addition to it, so people won't think I'm just some sort of lunatic out there that says I read a book, I'm going to talk about health and fitness. No, I can do a little more than that. So what I'm going to start doing online here is doing a little bit of preview of this, just to work out the kinks, so to speak. Even though I do a lot of things off the cuff, I will have notes, and it goes a lot with one of the books that I wrote, because I was writing a local a column for my local newspaper, which is no longer a local newspaper, for 2 years, 3 years, something like that, a weekly column. So I did quite a few of those, maybe even longer than that. However, I don't even remember how long it's been. At least 2. I'm thinking almost 2.5 or 3.5 years I wrote the column. So I have a lot of writing, a lot of stuff, and I have well over 500 videos on my video channel, on my YouTube channel as well. So yeah, I have the database, so to speak, of doing this, and it'll be a fundraiser for everybody. Think about your traditional fundraisers. A lot of them, you go door to door selling, right? You have for instance, like a local baseball team, they sell coupons. Great, fantastic. I don't know how much money they're going to get from the coupons, but there's a lot of work involved with that. A lot of door to door, a lot of begging, so to speak. You can still do the coupons if you want to, but how about say, hey, you come to the high school for an hour on Friday night, 2 hours on Saturday night, whatever, and listen to this guy talk. It costs you $10. Come in there, we'll have a good old time. Something like that for a fundraiser for the whatever. Let's in this scenario, baseball team fundraiser for the local baseball team. Great. Of course, I want to take a cut of it because I'm using my time and my resources and my planning to get everything done. Of course, that way. But the majority of it goes back to the fundraiser folks. Okay, does that make sense? How I'm phrasing this? If it's not, and whoever's watching right now, because I have several people watching me, tell me if that makes sense or not. How to do that, and we'll go from there. But in the following weeks, I'll be doing some of my shtick, so to speak, on here, and explaining that as we go along, where I'm coming from, and do all that kind of stuff. So that's what the popcorn and whiskey is. So, I mean, that's what the fundraiser in. So this is popcorn and whiskey, by the way. For those who just joined us, appreciate you being here. The whiskey I'm drinking tonight is actually my own concoction. Yes, I made this from scratch, my own two hands. A lot of work involved, and I'll tell you about that in a second too, because this is something that pissed me off recently. And if you don't like when I sip like that, too bad. It's my show. Yeah. So this stuff is made from stuff from grain. I think this was my apple product from last year. I made this from apples. And then I soaked what they call a wood spiral, an oak wood spiral in there. And oak wood spirals maybe about a foot long or so. I took a third of that and I soaked it in a gallon jug for a while with a little bit of vanilla flavoring as well. And that's what I have. That's why the color is so light with this. Color is not very whiskey-ish, if you will. It's more of a brandy-ish, however you want to phrase it. That's where it is. But so recently when I was doing my or recently somebody came to me and said, "Hey, if you can give me a few bottles, I want to give them out as Christmas presents." Whoa, ho, whoa! I'm not Christmas presents, wedding presents. Like, whoa, whoa, whoa! What do you mean you want to give them out as wedding presents? I did all the work. You didn't lift a finger. Why do you think you can come to me and ask me for it? Don't get me started with that. I know I don't sell any of my product. Don't get me wrong, but at least help me with it. There's a lot of work involved with making this stuff. If you've ever watched moonshiners on television, it's roughly how it's made. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. But there is a lot of work to it. You have to gather the product. You have to clean it. You have to mash it, so to speak, if that's what you want to do. You have to convert it to the right kind of texture, chemicals, add sugar, add yeast. Watch what you're doing, keep track of everything, clean it all out, filter it out, run it, test it, do what they call a stripping run, then do a flavor run. It's called different things. It's got a stripping run and I call it a flavor run. So there's a lot of work involved. I think with a fifth, a bottle of a fifth, it would probably anywhere from 40 to 50 hours of work for one bottle. Yeah, so if I were going to sell it, which I don't, and I don't recommend it, I'd probably have to charge at least $100 a bottle. At least $100 a bottle, which I don't sell it, of course not. And actually, for this one's for legal. I'm just lying. I don't make it. I just watch it and to see who my takers are with that one. I don't make the stuff. Are you kidding me? Why would I want to put 40 or 50 hours into one bottle when I can buy a bottle of stuff for 10, 15, 20 bucks at the store? Yeah, okay. So there you go. Did I really in on that one? Okay, whatever. Cheers, my friend. I have a buddy who just started a tequila live stream show, or tequila page, I should say. He's not doing live stream shows. Maybe I'll get him on one of these days and we can chit chat going back and forth. If you want to know how to make this stuff, there are several channels on YouTube that talk about it. One's called Barley and Hop, and none of these channels sponsor me. I've never talked to these folks. I'd like to get them on sometime, and maybe we can chit chat more in depth about it. But you know what? I'm not even going to tell you about the names of them because that's all there is. Because they don't sponsor me, which is something else I'll be getting into, sponsorships. If you are out there watching right now, forget everything I just said about the whiskey and stuff. Now just disregard that. Maybe I'll even have to delete that. But forget all that stuff. If you're out there and you want to sponsor me, Be more than happy to talk with you about sponsorships. Look at all this room I have back here for sponsors. See this over here? All this stuff. I can put sponsorships there. Not a problem there. I could wear sponsorships here as well. I can put a sponsorship on there. So that will be coming in the near future. There are several different companies I may be getting involved with, Lana, and be my own sponsor with that kind of product as well. For the time being, if you want to, you can see over here, it says you can buy me a drink or a cup of coffee. Go to andrewpleto.com/drink. Go over there and you can buy me something. It goes into the coffers. And hopefully I'll be able to upgrade my equipment. Or if my streaming service decides to upgrade my or charge me 4 times what they charge me now, we got to do this a completely different way. But I love the streaming service. I came on board with them several years ago, and I like to keep doing them. But we'll see what happens there. I'm able to use my camera at its fullest now. The fullest now. This camera that I use up until now, and it's a little bit technical jargon, so bear with me here if you don't understand the technical stuff. Up until now, I was only able to stream at the quality, the video quality of what they call 720p, which if you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. They upgraded me. I can do it at 180p now. So it's like the quality of going from a cassette deck to a CD. Remember how that was, the difference in quality with the music back in the day? That's what basically, if you want to look at it that aspect with video quality. If you want to look at from VHS quality to DVD quality, you can look at it that way as well. Solana, I don't know if you just typed something or not. If you did, it didn't come through. All right, here. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, you put an emoji up of you with a heart. Aw, look at that. Right back at you, babes. Thump, 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 thump. There you go. Yeah. There it is. That's my girl. That's what I like to see. For those who are watching, don't know, Lana's a friend of mine. Lives over in Texas, down in Texas, you should say. And one of these days, we are going to meet each other live. We've talked several times via this video stuff, which is that's some high quality H2O there. No, we got into this video stuff a little bit. We chit chatted quite a bit, and she's an extraordinary person. So hopefully we will get to be more involved, if you will. I just leave it at that, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so what else was I going to? I was going to get into conspiracy theories tonight, and I wanted to basically not really type them out, but read different articles about conspiracy theories. But I couldn't really get into anything that I liked at the time when I thought about doing it, so I got to do a little more research on it. Lana, you're too kind. Always a pleasure. Pleasure's mine, babes. Absolutely. But we do need a chit chat sometime this week. Hopefully we can set it up. But the conspiracy theories, I wanted to get into them a little bit and do a show on a conspiracy theory of some sort, but I don't know which one. A lot of them I looked at were based on, I saw one today about Taylor Swift being a plant by the NFL to bring more viewers to the NFL. Her and Travis Kelce aren't really an item. So what? But I guess that's a big thing. There's all kinds of space stuff. The flat earth stuff gets me. I'm not a believer in the flat earth, so don't get me wrong. But I remember back when I was in grade school, and this stands out like I'm reading it right now. I remember in one of the social study books we were reading, you read the book, and then on the not covers, the columns of the book. They have little facts about different stuff or little blurbs about something. And on one of the blurbs on the side, it said there's an organization called the Flat Earth Society. And it always intrigued me. I'm like, what can they possibly talk about? This is way before the internet was even thought about. This is way before Al Gore invented the internet and everything. So it's always in the back of my mind, the Flat Earth Society. All of a sudden, the internet comes up, and you got flat Earth people everywhere. Now, I am sure now I'm going to get all kinds of videos, all kinds of ads about flat Earth because I'm saying it here. And since you are listening to it, you might get it as well. But there are all kinds of shorts or reels or whatever platform you're watching those things on that people talk about flat Earth. And there are people out there who think the Earth is flat. Great, fantastic. If you think the Earth is flat, I particularly don't at this point, and I don't have a reason to say bad things or negative comments, I should say, about the people who think other than me. I have never studied it. I've never been in space. Maybe it's because it's been ingrained in my mind that the Earth is round. I don't know. But I have seen a few videos, and it's very compelling that some of the things that they do talk about on there. And I've gotten into the deep dive into this flat Earth stuff? No, I have not. Do I want to? Possibly. Possibly. Lana. All right. All right. All right. I got to put this on their show. Okay. If the Earth was flat, cats would have already knocked everything off. Lana, I got to ask, and this is something that's never came up between you and I. Are you a cat person? Oh man, if you're a cat person, we got some talking to do. If you're a cat person, I am not a cat person. Shouldn't say that. I'll tell you why in a second. A lot of big cats, like tigers and lions, or what are you talking about? Big cats. Again, I shouldn't talk bad about cats. I like cats. I actually have 3 of them on the front grill of my car right now. Big cats, lions, and tigers. Okay. Do you have one? All right. Which I don't know why I just thought of this. I am a huge fan of polar bears. Love my polar bears. I think they're the badassest animal on the planet. Oh, you don't have any. Okay. I think polar bears, not yet. You want to get a lion or a tiger? I don't know if I can keep up with the food with that. Gee whiz. I let them loose in my backyard. I got ducks all the time back here. They like ducks. They can get ducks. Rabbits. They've got moles back there. And yes, she says, yes. That's that Texas accent. Yes. There you go. The Texas accent. Okay. Now, like my polar bears, there's a documentary, and this I'm going to plug the documentary here because I absolutely think this is a fascinating documentary. It is from the BBC. It's called The Frozen Planet. If you've ever seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, I highly suggest you watch it. If you like documentaries and stuff like that, just for the cinematography, it's worth it. Just for that, absolutely breathtaking, absolutely beautiful cinematography, and there's a lot of educational stuff going on there as well. That's right, I said educational, so deal with it. A lot of stuff with that as well, and it's a fantastic documentary. I watched it when it first came out years ago. I'll probably watch it again soon because I thought it was just that fascinating. But they highlighted the polar bear quite a bit, and I like that because I like polar bears. If you'd asked me 10, 15 years ago what my favorite animal was, I really couldn't tell you, but now I'll tell you it's the polar bear. Why? I just think they're the badassest animal on the planet. That's all. I have nothing to go on with that other than me watching different documentaries of them, and I dig the polar bears. I I'm not a big grizzly bear fan. The polar bears is what I like. There you go. Okay. So, conspiracy theories we were talking about. I saw this today about yes, I'm just transitioning. I'm not going any particular way today. I'm not doing anything special today. Just because it's been a long week for me, folks. After the festival last weekend, the Little Italy Festival, and this week was just it's been a trying week for me. Let's put it that way. Then today, or during the week, my brother-in-law's mother passed away, so they had her funeral and the visitations and everything today, and so a little bit of a somber mood in the household, which is unfortunately that's how life works. So that was going on, and so that made the week a little slower, a little more blah, if you will. Then I didn't have my cable to watch some of the shows I like to watch, like my wrestling last night. Didn't get to watch my wrestling last night. Well, I guess I did because it was still on. I did watch it last week, and I did watch it Monday. Oh, speaking of wrestling, last week in Germany they had the WWE had the premium live event. It was great. It was great. Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens, great match. You had the strap match with Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. In Punk we trust. Yeah, that was brutal. Oh, I'm telling you what. If anybody's friends with CM Punk watching this, I would love to have him come on this show. I would love to talk to CM Punk, even though he doesn't drink whiskey. He lives what they call a straight edge lifestyle. No whiskey, no booze, no drugs, and a couple other things. I think they call it the straight edge lifestyle, which is fantastic. And I love to get more in depth with him about that. Maybe that's one night I can get into what the straight edge lifestyle is all about. But anyway, now I'm going to do this one off the cuff here. Oh, sorry, you didn't see that. My full head of hair here. So, all right, as I do this, there was okay. Put myself back up there. There's a space rocket slammed into the moon. I saw this. I'm like, wow, I want to watch this with everybody else. I haven't seen this yet. So the space rocket slammed into the moon, and I don't know what we're watching here. I guess there's a rocket somewhere. That must be it right there. I guess. Let me see if I can make this bigger for everybody here. Okay. And let's see from the museum. Okay, up there. All right. Wait a second here. So we're gonna watch this rocket slam into the moon somewhere. If there's let's see, captured from that time of flash on February 23rd, 2013. What? There's the crater from this impact is thought to be a dozen meters in diameter. That's it? Oh, I'm so disappointed. I am so disappointed. I thought it was gonna be like a big explosion or something here. What is this? The Milky Way while orbiting Earth. What? I mean, okay, which leads me to believe something else with this space stuff. Stop. SpaceX sonic boom and landing in Florida. Okay, what is this all about? SpaceX sonic boom and landing in Florida. I don't have the sound up on this, so sorry you can't hear it. Too bad. This is SpaceX landing in Florida. Oh, look at that. Oh, isn't that cool? Oh, wow, cool. All right, that's SpaceX landing in Florida. Okay. Okay. Why I had that there, I don't know, but I did. Um, space baffles me. Since we talk about space, let me talk about this because this one really gets to me sometime. How do we know? And these people are way smarter than I ever will be. But how do you know when something is 5 million light years away, 5,000 light years away, 5 light years away? How do you know? How can you tell me? How can you accurately say there's a billion stars out there? Or how can you say the Milky Way looks like this? And you know how they show a picture of the entire universe and it says we're in the galaxy called the Milky Way over here, and you look and say there's a dot of us. Well, how do we know that's what it looks like? We haven't had a spaceship and a camera out that far to send us back a picture. How do we know? We don't. We can have a telescope look at there, but how do we know it's what it looks like when they look at back when it looks back at us? We don't know this stuff. It's an educated guess. So you can't tell me that the Earth is I mean, there's a light year that's a planet that died 2 million years ago, and we're still seeing the light from it. How do you don't know that? And if it's dead, how do we know it's dead? If the light's still coming to us, if it's that many light years away, that see, it just boggles my mind. I can't comprehend that. It makes no sense to me. And then if you ever looked outside on a nice evening, a clear evening, and looked at all the stars out there, and then they say there's billions of stars. Who counted them? Tell me who counted a billion stars out there. I don't think it's possible for somebody to count to a billion. I'm sorry, but I just don't. And which brings up another point. If we as humans, Lana, God did. You're right. I agree. God created everything, but how do we know what's out there? How do we know? How do the scientists say that this planet is this far away from us? That planet is that far away from us. The planet, X2 Pluto and the galaxy, 5 galaxies away from us. How do we know what's out there? We don't know. We can't possibly know. And how do we know, like on Venus, they have certain gases on Venus, or on Saturn with the rings, they're made out of this particular type of gas, and so on and so forth. We don't know that. How can we possibly know that? We look at it with a telescope. Hey, that telescope. Okay, now we have that helium gas over there or hydrogen gas over there because we can see it with our telescope. Really? Is that how that works? It just baffles my mind. Maybe that'll be a segment I'll have in the show. What baffles my mind this week? Hey, we could do that. Now, talking about Bigfoot too. That's another one coming up to Bigfoot. Well, what was I talking about? Talking about space. Something I was going to bring up. Talking about space, planets, gosh darn it, it's tip of my tongue. Oh well, I'll get it back one of these days. Okay, but until then, time to drink. So I'm just losing all trains of thought. Lana, I have zero desire to go to space. Me too. I have no desire to go to space. Zilch, zero. What would I do in space? I'd be bored out of my mind. You can't broadcast from space. At least I couldn't do this from space. And I doubt if I have my TV up there, and radio reception is probably pretty bad up in space. I doubt you get any kind of cell reception up there, right? Yeah, I'm sure my visible wireless won't work in space. No. Which reminds me, my cell phone. I should link to this. If you don't have visible wireless and you have Verizon, you are paying way too much money for it. And how do I know this? Because I've had visible wireless. I think this is year number 3 or year number 4. I pay $25 a month, unlimited talks and texts like everybody else, unlimited data, 4G data. I don't have the 5G phone, but if I had a 5G phone, Lana, get stuck, maybe Starlink. But I have unlimited data with my phone, unlimited hotspot data. Now it is capped at a speed, depends on which plan you're in, but unlimited hotspot data as well. $25 a month. There are people out there who are paying $100 a month for their cell phone service. If that is you, you either have plenty of money to throw away or you're just not very frugal. I'm not putting anybody down. If that's what you want to pay a month, great. There's not too much that you can do with your service that I can't do with my service. And also the phones. If you're buying $1,000 iPhone, God bless you if you can afford it. If you can't, my question to you is why? What good is $1,000 iPhone where you can buy an Android for less than $100? This company I'm at used to give them out for free. Yeah, used to give them out for free. But Andrew, that's a cheap ass phone. Okay. I can do pretty much everything you can do. No, I can't do FaceTime because it's an Android. But other than that, I can pretty much do everything you can do. True. Maybe not as quickly as you, but if you don't use your phone for business constantly, why do you need to be quicker or a little bit quicker than mine? Do you game? Great. If gaming's your thing, fantastic. Not mine. I have my cell phone is fine. If you like your cell phone, great. But don't you ever tell me you can't afford something if you have $1,000 iPhone. I won't believe you. I'll laugh at you. And yes, I tell students that because I am a teacher. I tell students that all the time as well. If you can afford the luxury of $1,000 iPhone, God bless you, go for it. Hope you can. But don't tell me you can't afford something else if that's what you get. If you can get a Starbucks coffee every day, pay a $7, $8, $9 coffee every day, and then you tell me you can't afford something else, I'm telling you got your priorities wrong. And if you can afford it, if you can afford the luxury of doing that every day, fantastic, great. I'm not in your pocket. Don't know what your pocketbook looks like. None of my business. But when you start telling me you can't afford it, that's an excuse because you can. You just choose to use your money differently. Okay. It's like us trainers when we hear somebody says, "Well, I don't have enough time to work out." Really? You have just as much time as I do. You got 24 hours in a day. If that is truly a reason that if you well, let me back up. If you tell me, yes, you want to work out, yes, you want to start getting healthier, but you don't have the time to do it, I'll say, if I can help you find the time, would that work for you? You'd be surprised how many people will then stop and say, no, 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 it won't, because they don't really want to do it. Time is just an excuse. If I can help you find the time to do it, would you want to do it? Because we all have, I don't know how many hours in a day, 24 hours a day. What was that 168 days a week? Lana, you're just starting to work out? Good for you. That's what I like to see. I took this week off because after the weekend I had last week, and I didn't say this, after I did the announcing Friday night, Saturday and Sunday, I'm part of the Clinton Lions Club, and we do chicken and spaghetti dinners during the festival. Now, we're going to work out tomorrow. Good for you. All right. The chicken and spaghetti dinner this weekend or this past weekend, it has last 5 years, maybe last 6 years. Been doing chicken and spaghetti at the Lions Club, and there's there's been two of us at first. Now then they started with three. Now this year there were basically three of us the last couple of years who have worked from 7 a.m. to almost 10 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. It is a long ass day, long ass 2 days. And then on Monday, we go back and we have to clean up all the little stuff that we didn't get. You would think with almost 100 members in our club, we would get more people to help us. And yes, this is my bitch session, so I'm sorry. But we don't have very many people who are willing to help. Well, I got to be with family this weekend. Well, no shit. So do I. Okay. And it's Lions Club. It's a volunteer group. We are a service organization. We help out the community as much as we can. In order to do that, we have to do fundraisers. We have to make money some way, shape, or form. And then once we have money in our till, we can give it back out and donate it to different places in the community. That's what a service organization does in a nutshell. The folks who like to give out the money that we have are the folks who never show up and do any work to help out to make the money, to help make the money, which really starts to piss me off as we go through this. But anyway, getting back. So it was a long ass weekend for me. And I'm not talking you're at a place you're sitting there waiting for people to show up. No, I'm on my feet from 7 a.m. to almost 10 p.m. Very seldom do I get to sit down. Very seldom. And I'm one of the younger ones. The other two guys that are doing it are a lot older than I am, and how they're able to do it, I don't know. I try to make sure they don't lift anything heavy. I try to make sure that I do all that kind of stuff. But still, when you're on your feet for that long and you're focused and concentrating and running around and doing different things, it wears you out. And that was one of the reasons I didn't do anything this past Saturday, because when I got home, I took a shower, I sat down on my chair, poured a little bit of whiskey, and I was zonked. I zonked out right away. Went to bed, woke up the next day, and did it all again. Did it all again. And this year was slower. The last couple of years, for those 2 days, I cook, and usually the last couple of years, I've been the only one doing the spaghetti. I'm the only one cooking spaghetti. Yeah, you're gonna say, yeah, you're just boiling water. You're right. It's boiling water and dumping pasta in there. But when you cook over 200 pounds of pasta in the weekend and you're doing it by yourself, it's a lot of work. There's not much downtime because you're constantly pouring water, heating water, mixing the pasta, taking it out, putting the sauce with it, so on and so forth. And we make our own sauce. We do that a few weeks in advance. We freeze it. We make anywhere from 30 to 50 gallons of sauce. So, and I'll match our sauce against anybody on the planet. Our sauce is fantastic. So I want to travel around the different Lions clubs around the country just to see how they do it when they're with their fundraisers, because it's a blast. If you don't know what a Lions club is, please look it up in your community and help them out, because the ones who do it right, they are very helpful with the community. And I think we're one of the, I don't want to say one of the few, but we do it right, and we really help out. We're really well known. We also do eye screening for the grade schoolers, preschool and grade schools. One of our members is our local eye doctor in town, and so he doesn't head up the program, but he makes sure we do it correctly. Lions Club is known for vision screening, especially in the state of Indiana, and our club is one of the premier ones who does it the correct way. And we have story after story after story of students who we've helped out who didn't know they had bad eyesight because the funds in their family was low, and we come in and, hey, look at that, we found out that their eyesight was bad, and we hook them up with some glasses, and all of a sudden their schoolwork improves. We had one kid who was on the verge of flunking out, I think the third or fourth grade. I mean, literally, he was failing everything, could not function. He was going to be he's on a path to being what we call a deadbeat, and everybody knows what I mean by that, deadbeat in society. Found out that he had a major vision situation, helped him get corrected, got his eyesight corrected, started improving his grades. And he sent us a letter a couple of years ago. Graduated high school with honors, went on to college at a very pristine college in this area. And I think, don't quote me on this, but I think this is the kid who ended up being an eye doctor as well. He went to school to be an eye doctor. Because of our vision screening program, he wanted to give back, and so he became an eye doctor. So we have several stories like that as well. Why? Because of the Lions Club helping out, and our pasta dinners help out doing that to get the equipment to do the ice cream and so on and so forth. So there you go. All right. Thank you, Lana. Yeah, that's one of the things we do, and and we're all about raising funds. That's what we do. And the last several years, we run the concession stands at the local high school, and this is funny. I said we should put some sort of tip jars up there and use that for our vision screening program. It's what we call the vision screening. Oh, we can't do that. We can't do that. We can't do that. I talked to other clubs who did do the same thing, and they run a concession stand at Indiana State University for their football games, and they're making a killing with the tip jar. Well, I come to find out that you can't call it a tip jar. It has to be a donation jar. And 2 years ago, somebody at our meeting says, "Well, can we put up a donation jar?" Somebody says, "Hey, that's a great idea." I want to say, "What the F? I just I talked about this 3 years ago." He said we couldn't do it. "Oh, but you said it was a tip jar. We can use a donation jar." I said, "You can kiss my ass." One of those kind of things. Lana, remind me to talk to you about getting donors for you. Well, sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. I would love to. We would absolutely, we're going to talk. We'll set something up this week, Lana, for certain. You're a busy person. I know that. We have to do it in the evenings, of course, to do it. Um, which leads me to what I'm going to talk about now, which is I'm going to sign off because you can tell my eyes are about ready to close. And no, it's not because of the whiskey. It's because of this week I've had. And today I was going to the funeral, which was both sad and then happy afterwards because everybody got together. The emotions today were just, and I'm a big softy at this kind of stuff. I'm a big crier. Yes, I'm an old softy. I cry at the sad Subaru commercials, and I cry during gold medal ceremonies at the Olympics. I'm just an old softy, but don't tell anybody, okay? Because I got a reputation of being the hard nosed and hard ass guy. I'm just a big old cuddly teddy bear. There's especially this Paralympics that's happening now. I think that maybe it's over this weekend. Some of those athletes are incredible. So yes, I give a have a big tear in my eye running down there quite a bit. So Lana, oh, I like you even more. Okay. You're making me blush again. No, but I'm an old softy. I'll admit. And I'll tell you this one last story. Then I'll leave for the evening. At the high school I teach at, I teach at a high school. They have something at the end of the year, and I've never seen this in other high schools. I substitute taught for a lot of years, and I have been to 8 different high schools, so substitute taught, in a long term capacity. We'll leave it at that. This is the only high school I've ever seen do this. The last day for seniors at the school, the seniors get dressed up in their cap and gown, and they go to different elementary schools in the area, and they walk around the elementary schools and they high five the kids and everything else, the little kids, and then they come back to the high school, and all the teachers, all the parents, all the students go out to the football stadium where they have the track where they run track, and everybody lines up around the track, and the seniors come out and they walk all around the track giving hugs and high fives and seeing people for the last time and cheers and all kinds of stuff happening. And the first time I witnessed this, it was nuts in a good way. You saw kids, at least I saw kids. You walk through and you can see it in their eyes and their faces. Some kids are jumping for joy. They're the last day of high school. They're out of here. Great. Other kids, they have this look. They're smiling, but they are scared to death. They don't know what's going to happen. Other kids are confused. Other kids are sad. I mean, the emotions are unbelievable. And I got close to a few of these kids because I had them for several years. And throughout the year, we joke around, we laugh, and we talk, and so on and so forth. And they come up, and a lot of these kids, they hug all their teachers and everything else. And so all of a sudden, I start getting a few kids coming over to me, which I didn't think they knew me enough to do this. They start coming over to me, "Hey, Mr. B," give me a big old hug. I start crocodile eyes, and all of a sudden I got tears coming down here. Oh man, emotions are going through, and especially when some of the guys are looking at me, the big Husky football players or baseball players. I'm always joking around with them in class. They see me and give me a big old hug. Hey, Mr. P, and bro hug, and I'm here. Ball, you guys are gonna do great. They say, I can't believe of all teachers, you're the one crying here. I said, shut up. You don't see me cry. Blah blah blah. It was great. And so every year that and I've done it for 3 years at this school. This will be my 4th year. And every year it's the same thing. I tell myself, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. This last year, I held off until the very end. But then afterwards, one of my students came to my room. And this is cool. This is a story I got to tell. And I don't know when they started doing this at the school, way before I got there. But when they're in, I don't know, kindergarten, first grade, or something like that, they write a note to the future selves. What I want to be when I graduate, and so on and so forth. My favorite color is this, and my favorite subject was this. My favorite television show was this, and blah blah blah. One kid comes to me in my room. I'm by myself, and he comes in, and he has tears going down his face. I'm thinking, oh, what happened now? He says, I just read my time capsule thing. He says, do you mind reading it? I said, if you don't mind me reading it. I said, I know it's personal. He says, no, I want you to read it. I'm reading this thing. And on it, he says that his dad's his hero and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, that's great. He said, my dad died of cancer when I was in 5th grade. I'm like, oh my gosh. And that's when he started bawling again. Like, and I started bawling, and he says, I had a brain tumor and blah, blah, blah. And it was ugly. And he didn't know what to do since then. And oh my gosh, you talk about emotional. This kid was just bawling. And here I am. What am I going to do? And I started bawling. Gosh, great kid. And wow. He's doing good things now. He's actually taking some classes and got a job, and he's going to make it. Yeah. And he still confides in me and comes to me with stuff. So there you go. Okay. I want to leave you on that kind of note, but Saturday night, Lana, thank you for being here. Appreciate all the stuff. You did that. Let's hook up this week sometime, and I'm looking forward to it. But I'm going to sign off now, folks. Again, my name is Andrew, Popcorn and Whiskey. I am the face who runs the place. Check out all the stuff I have. Top Fitness Strategies. Go there. Go to the YouTube page. Please subscribe. I'm trying to get my subscribers up. All kinds of stuff happening there. So I will stop it here. And that's it. So until next time, this is me. Kisses. Kisses to you. Ciao, ciao, babes. Until next time. Ciao.